the Gen Z movie directors are coming in, and I'm all for it.
The actress who plays Nikki,
she's amazing. Standout performance. I hope she gets some type of Oscar.
She will not win the Oscar, but she should. Welcome back to another Tudor Ramble movie review. Today, Rich and I are talking about the movie Obsession, and we're going to go a little spoiler-free first, see if you want to watch it, and then we'll go full, deep spoilers on Obsession.
You want the short and skinny of this, go see the movie, by the way. I'm sure everyone's hearing the buzz about it, but spoiler-free thoughts, this is a spectacular movie. And I have discovered something more about myself. I'm a real big baby. This movie terrified me. I was scared. I should not have gone to this movie alone. I needed someone to hold at this movie.
This is one of the few ones where we went separately to the theaters. Yeah, it would have been a nice one to have more companions there.
Yeah, I was spooked, some would say.
Yes, and we went and watched the movie because this has been getting so much buzz. The movie has broken records. So this had a $750,000 budget, which is nothing in the film world, and it's already, as a point of recording, made $150 million.
Nice.
It's horror movie records of how much money it's making, and this has never happened before, but extremely rare. For the opening weekend of this film did phenomenal, but then the second weekend that Obsession came out went up 38% from the previous weekend. Yeah. That does not happen because it was word of mouth. It was the buzz. It was people saying, go watch this movie.
Word of mouth is the driving factor.
Yep. Yeah. And this film is made by Curry Barker, who started he's like a YouTuber, TikToker who does some horror shorts and had a really short horror movie as well. But
he also does a lot of comedy
as well.
That's a lot of the big views that he gets on YouTube.
I've seen his stuff before. I've seen his face in funny, weird stuff, and he has some cool editing with that as well. And that's the director of this movie,
which is
crazy, right?
Awesome.
It is awesome.
This along with The Backrooms, and along with Markiplier as well. Like Markiplier, a little older, but seems like the beginning of the Gen Z. The Gen Z movie directors are coming in, and I'm all for it. I like to see some young blood getting in here.
Obsession, though, it is an awesome movie.
Yeah.
It's a very basic concept. So the pitch is just this. It's this monkey paw situation where our main character, his name's Bear. He's in love, or thinks he's in love, really likes his friend. And they are just friends, though. There's a small friend group with just 4 of them, and he wants to ask Nikki out, but he's too timid and too shy to ask her out. So, and he's about to do it. He has every chance to do it and doesn't. So instead, he uses this trinket, this little
wishing stick,
breaks the stick and goes, I just wish that Nikki loved me more than anyone in the world. And him saying that it takes the horror movie direction where Nikki becomes obsessed with him, and
then the movie continues.
Movie continues. That is the hook of it. You said you were frightened.
I was very scared. Yes, and this really comes down to the Nikki character, or Indy
Navarrete.
Indy Navarrete.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping me out. I didn't want to get her name right.
The actress who plays Nikki.
She's amazing. Standout performance. I hope she gets some type of Oscar.
She will not win the Oscar, but she should.
She should.
If there is justice in this world.
She terrified me. Just every scene, she stole it. She did so much with genuine, like, not so little, but like just her frowning was terrifying to me. I loved it. Her acting was amazing. Honestly, stand-up performance. She's now on the short list of whatever project she's in next, I want to go see.
She is, it's not even an exaggeration to say, one of the best horror performances I've seen.
Yeah.
Just
genuinely
incredible. Yeah, it's going shockingly good.
Yeah.
Especially, so I found this out afterwards. She doesn't even like horror movies. And she makes one of the most horrific scary acting performances ever. So cool. But this movie has their substance to it too. It says something about romance, love, entitlement, and all those kind of things. So there's messages and layers to the movie on top of it just being scary, freaky. But thing to keep in mind too, if it's coming from Curry Barker, who has this comedy background as well, there's some funny moments slipped into the horror. And there's also some awkward laughs of sometimes when there's a lot of tension, you might laugh just to, like, I'm waiting for a laugh moment to relieve the tension in my body. That happened a lot in the theater I went to.
Yeah, I agree, but also it was always the intended emotion of the scene, which is really, there was a couple key scenes that it was tense, scary, but at the same time funny. And all three emotions were happening at the same time, which is very impressive to do.
It is. Now, Rich, what did you give it out of 5 stars? What's your Rambler rating for Obsession?
I gave it a 4.5. This is a spectacular movie.
I also gave it a 4.5 stars. Spectacular movie. I'm in agreement. And there's lots to love. If anything, why didn't it get the 5 for you? I mean, we're saying how amazing the movie is, incredible, all these words.
Right? I would say the standouts, like what floored me is the emotions that it was able to bring out of me, the acting, I think, of course. But other than that, I would say the filmmaking is spectacularly done. I wouldn't say the filmmaking floored me. It's just there's some of those little things. Maybe plot as well is incredibly well done, but didn't shock me, didn't floor me. That would
That's
be
fair.
it.
That's fair. I think this is the only, if there's a side effect of it, having the small budget. I love when there's limits to filmmaking because it lets you be creative. There's a couple of things where the scale of the world, and I watched this movie with our friend Harry. He was saying this as well, where the scale of the world is smaller. You get your 4 main characters, but that is your world, right? And so, some of that stuff might lead there's one scene that was a little immersion breaking. That was it for me. But we'll talk about it in the spoiler section. But yeah, spectacular movie. Highly recommend. Amazing horror. Without anything else to say, we can give spoiler warning.
All right, let's get into it.
Spoilers. This is your chance to click off if you don't want spoilers for Obsession. Here we go. So, Rich, our plot summary. Quick overview if you want to get a brief refresher on the movie.
So, as we start off, one of the main character, Bear, he wants to ask out his friend Nikki, ultimately chickens out, and he breaks the wishing willow stick and wishes that Nikki loved him more than anything in the world. And then she snaps and she starts to become obsessed with him.
Yes. And now Bear at first is down with this because this girl he's been interested in this whole entire time and wanted to ask out is now suddenly obsessed with him, and it's great.
He does immediately. He is weirded out.
He's like, what's going on with you? You're acting weird and quirky. But it's just quirky at first. It's a little weird. But then that turns into seeing how truly obsessed she is, to the point of taping the doors down so that he cannot leave to go to work, or feeding him cat food, or going with him to friends' parties.
Not cat food. Feeding him his cat.
Sorry, yes. His actual cat.
I don't know how that relates to being obsessed with someone, but you know what? Whatever. It's creepy, weird.
It's creepy and weird.
That's what counts.
But does everything. And as this goes, Bear is getting more and more. He's getting more and more on edge about this, but he's still willing to be with Nikki throughout all these weird, creepy things, and he wants her to act normal, even though she's being coerced into this relationship with him. And we find out there's a scene where there's Nikki's, maybe if the correct word is possessed. There's this, you hear on a phone call where Nikki's on the other side screaming in eternal torture, and you also have the scene where freaky Nikki, the demon possessed Nikki, I'm just saying that for lack of a better word, is in bed, and while sleeping you hear the actual Nikki whispering, "Kill me, please kill me, help me, kill me." And so even when that happens, Bear is unwilling to end the things. What actually leads to the ending is Sarah texts. Sarah's one of their friends who says, "Hey, you need to meet me right now. This whole Nikki situation, like what's going on, why is she suddenly interested in you, yada yada," and explains to him, "Hey, she saw you as a friend." And then Sarah and him get a little bit close in the car, and boom, Nikki comes, kills Sarah, slams her skull to smithereens. And that is what tips Bear over the edge. Finally. So
he tries to get his other friend, I'm blanking on his, Ian,
Yep.
tries to get Ian to make another wish to cancel out his own wish, ultimately doesn't believe him, and joking is like, well, I wish for $1 billion instead. Ruins his chance, so Bear goes back to Nikki and tries to convince her to make a wish, but it ultimately says the only way out is to kill myself. So he takes a bunch of pills, and he's about to do it, then he chickens out. He's about to throw up and not go through with it.
He couldn't shoot himself. He was about to do pills. He's about to throw. Yeah. And
But then,
you know,
before he can throw up, Nikki makes a wish, basically saying, like, I wish Bear was as obsessed with me as I am with him.
it's implied. We don't see that happen, but yeah.
He walks out, they embrace, he dies, and Nikki, the spell over Nikki is broken, and she is free.
But after seeing it being covered in blood and everything, and the question being had of Freaky Nikki having made the wish, can the actual Nikki make the wish, or is it per body, or is it per soul? That's a whole question too.
Yeah.
But that is obsession. So, review time?
Yep.
What did you give emotional impact out of 5 stars?
I gave it 5. Floored me. I was scared. I was sometimes covered my eyes. I was just huddled into my seat. Yeah.
I give it 4.5 spectacular.
Yes. This got me.
Yeah. It's a horror plus a little bit of comedy.
Yeah.
And so many scenes that stuck out for you. I'm sure, like, what was ones that come to mind?
The one that sticks out to me right off the top of my head is the party scene. I think there's so much anxiety of seeing one. You get to see before that how Nikki is crazy and obsessive, and they're going to this party, and you just know something's going to happen. She's going to snap. And the particular scene is when Bear is playing the truth or dare Jenga, basically, and gets the brick, and it says, kiss the person to your left. And Nikki just stands up and has this frown on her that is just bone chilling somehow, of just literally like an over exaggerated frown. And moves everyone over, so he kisses her instead.
Just
and
pulls Sarah's chair back.
Yeah. And then ultimately she snaps, is about some part of her's trying to break out, and she's beating herself with a bottle. She does this whole poetry thing where she's reading off the just creepy, sexual Hansel and Gretel, like brother-sister thing. It's gross. It's weird. That whole scene was brilliant. I loved it.
Yes, and I liked it too because you got to see the friends in the room as well, of how I felt uncomfortable with them. I'm feeling like, wow, what a downer of a night.
Yeah.
This is
not great. Yeah. But then you add on top of that, like, Nikki is beating herself with a bottle, and you as the audience know, like, Bear has been kind of dealing with the rest of the stuff of, like, he's seen, this is not the only thing. She's been weirder, and it's just, he's terrified of her. And everyone else is looking like, dude, your girlfriend is literally beating her head with a bottle. Go to her. Help her. Take her to the hospital.
Yeah.
And he's just frozen in fear and paralysis, and also like somewhat a little bit of apathy. It's like, this is not as weird. Anyway. And so the awkwardness of that scene as well, seeing it from Bear's point of view and the audience and the friends as well. So I felt everything.
And the friends have always been on edge because they're going like, hey, Nikki is saying that her dad has cancer and that's what's making her weird, but we know her dad's fine. What are you talking about?
She also doesn't like her dad.
Yeah, she's also not a big fan of him. So yeah, that scene was awesome. A couple of the other ones, one of the more scary ones where it felt more real to me. Okay, two more. There's a lot in here. One is when Bear calls the number on the trinket, on the stick thing, the magico stick, and calls it to see if he can take his wish back. And you hear the guy on the other line. Why this really worked is, first, it's a little bit of a funny scene where the guy on the other line is acting very casual, like, and kind of sarcastic, and just going, yeah, what do you mean, man? Like, acting very, very mundane. And through that out, acting mundane is also telling him the very blunt fact of, oh, no, you can't take it back. I have Nikki here. And then you hear Nikki screaming in whatever realm this is that she's trapped in. And so it was both a bit funny, but then also, holy crap. I think up till then we didn't really know what was happening. Like, was it just Nikki was completely different? Did this change her forever? But knowing that she was eternally being tortured at the same time, wow. And then likewise, the scene where she is, it's in the middle of the night. He wakes up and sees her in the corner, and she's just watching him.
Yeah,
and I'm going, oh, she's just watching and skidding around, and finally they get to bed, and after a lot of coaxing, and as he's trying to,
he tries to move,
he tries to get up and he goes, stay. Anyway, but and in the scene where he does leave her because he gets the text from Sarah, when he's leaving and going out the door, and we hear Nikki talking and saying, it's the real Nikki saying, just kill me, it's this bad. What really got me an emotional hook is what Bear said as well, which we'll get into his character.
Yeah.
But when he said, what's wrong with being with me?
It is being with me.
It's that bad.
That torturous. Like,
yeah.
He'd rather die.
Mm-hmm.
And,
which is reminding us of,
again, we'll get into his character of like, it's not about you, man.
Yes, but the way, oh my God, what an awesome character. But those were just some of the scenes that got, but bang. What scary stuff, funny stuff, all throughout. The tape scenes. It also used a lot of the horror tropes very well. Like, the eating of his own cat. Yeah, just used well. But in general, anything else stick out to you?
Oh, some funny but tense scenes as well as when he's trying to ask Ian, his friend, to make the wish, and he's just desperate, and Ian just fumbles it by saying, like, I wish for $1 billion. And the money is just pouring, and he just looks at his friend and just the anger and just desperation. The music playing with it was a very funny scene of the money falling around him and just him being devastated.
Yep.
So I thought that was really well done.
That was also awesome. The way even Nikki was moving, how she moved, this gets into her performance, but
there was a couple scenes where they actually did do a reverse shot of, they just played the footage backwards so it looks more skittery. But it's an effective trick.
And then obviously the finale.
Yeah.
As what an emotional ride that was. Like Ian getting shot, and then Nikki,
leaving it on, watching the credits on the little CRT TV, and just Nikki bawling as it's going on. Like, Jesus, what a way to end it. Yeah.
Okay, anything else before thought-provoking nature?
Let's get right into it.
What'd you give thought-provoking out of 5 stars?
4.5. Spectacular.
I gave it a 4. Great.
Yeah. I think this does so much with the nature of, like, it's clearly going off of the idea of the nice guy trope of, does someone owe you their affection? The difference between love, obsession, lust, like ownership of another person, basically. And it's getting into that nature, and also, that's the big stuff that's going over. I think there's other things of, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, obviously.
But I think it's really well handled.
Yeah.
Because I love the degradation of, you start off with Bear of, like, being somewhat sympathetic character of, he's weird, he's awkward, but everyone's been a little awkward before in their life. He's going to the extreme of it, but as it degrades even further, it's his selfishness, his lack of regard for other people, and ultimately his inability to take responsibility for anything in his life is what kind of leads to everything going wrong.
Yeah, it is that nice guy entitlement where just because you're nice to somebody means that you deserve some sort of affection. That it's often that framework of, you're the nice guy and you see the girl go and sleep with the bad boy or like whatever. Yeah. And it's that nice guy mentality of, look, this guy treats you like crap. Why are you going to the guy that treats you like crap when I'm right here, ready to be your knight in shining armor? And it's that self-isolating mentality that someone like Bear has. And literally, actually, Nikki in this is sleeping with Ian, the more kind of crude, pushy, the more the cool guy in the friend group. He's more your bad boy than certainly Bear is.
Yeah.
But Bear, even having not known that, is just he's your guy. He feels like he is owed this in some way, and him actually doing this magic thing, which he didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah,
right?
Him making the wish is not particularly evil. Like it's a toy. He doesn't know it's real. I mean, making a wish on the star of, I wish the girl I liked me back. That's not an evil thing to do. But when it's actual magic, it's every action
after that. Yeah.
After that, when he now knows it's real, and he willfully disregards the fact that no, you have now trapped Nikki. This is against her consent.
And she's writing a romance novel, and he asks her in the car in the scene where he's uncomfortable to ask her out. He asks her, what about that romance novel you're writing? And Nikki says to him, it's not a romance, it's a love story. And then he replies back to her, like, those are the same thing, aren't they? Aren't those the same thing? Which, a good plot in general will always kind of encapsulate the theme in some sort of dialogue or something early on in the film. And that says a lot about Bear's mentality on what love is, like this love versus romance of him. He's also mixing the two, whereas Nikki is saying, no, they're very different things, right? Like a deep love and connection is different from like a romance, the romantic movie, something like that. So did you think anything about that, of what Bear's perspective was just on love in general?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, on a surface level, hey, what do you really mean by love? Like ultimately there's not a hard definition really of like the difference between love and romance. It depends on, you have to ask the further question. What do you mean? What do you mean by love? What do you mean by romance? And so you understand Nikki's point of view of it. I think it's more of like, at least my interpretation of it was romance can be one-sided, and a love story is a two-way connection. And so she was writing a love story, but not a romance. I think that's what that's my getting at, but I could be wrong here.
Yeah, the thing with Bear as well, of how he sees them as the same thing. He has more of probably a naive view of what a relationship is as well, where he is, as you see as it goes on, this is a question I was asking myself it's removed from this point in this situation, because this is, he uses a magic trinket that coerces her and forces her to be with him now, right? Like that's an extreme, of course, like he's the villain here. It made me think about the jump of like, the movie's not exactly saying this, but it made me think of the case of in the real world, right? Where there's a guy, or in generally speaking, if a wealthy guy, millions, billions of dollars or whatever, that a girl is with 25 years or less. Take Leonardo DiCaprio, right? Take some situation where it's a very clear transaction, most part there, of, hey, super wealthy guy, has a lot of money, young hot girl is willing to be with the guy because benefits of that. But is it really love, right? Is it more transactional than it is a true love? And the way,
But then you also have to factor in of like every relationship of love, other than like parent-child, to some degree is transactional, of like, and not only money. It's also emotional care, affection. Like we all get things, and
like
also
what's acceptable and what's not.
Also money, power, looks. All of these things are attractive. Like who? None of us could say it. Like Leonardo DiCaprio is like, not attractive. There's no way a young 20-year-old is not like.
Okay, don't take Leo. How about take Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, okay, is Harvey Weinstein attractive? No. Does he have anything going? Is he, of course? Yeah, he's a bad guy, obviously. Take the
that's worse. But there is something. Like, what's that line of like?
Yeah,
when you have like power is attractive. Having resources of doing that thing is an attractive quality, and so
but it's that line there of
do you
where
take away a woman's like autonomy of like what is she is attracted to?
Yeah,
it's
the
you get to decide what. Oh no, there's no way you could actually be attracted to that, and That's all the question.
But yeah, the question in this movie is about, hey, this is a coercion, like being forced to be in this because the guy here, Bear, he's benefiting so much. The only thing he wishes happened in this relationship is that she was less crazy and still loved him. And he almost doesn't even care if she's like coerced into it.
Oh yeah,
he's getting all the benefits out of this.
It's important in that decision when he's talking on the phone. He doesn't ask to reverse the wish.
No, he doesn't.
He knows for certain, hey, I have taken away her free will. A decent person, the first thing they would go is like,
snap her out of it.
Oh my God, snap her out of it. I don't want to take away her free will. There's the one level of the decent human being part of, I don't want to, take away someone's free will and trap them against their will. That's terrible. That's bad. I think there's even the more selfish second and like pathetic layer that like, I would think, at least I have some degree of self-image pride of I don't want to be with someone that doesn't want to be with me.
Right.
That's gross.
Yeah.
That's like, Jesus, how low can you be to want that? And so for him to even go past that, like, I don't care, even if she doesn't want it, like I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
It's like, can you just like change her a little bit? Pathetic.
Yeah.
Evil.
Yeah. But yeah, going to that point of this being that it's that nice guy entitlement is the core thing that it's getting at there of feeling that this is owed to him and willing to do whatever it takes and not having anything of quality that's another question too. Was Nikki ever interested in him? Because there's a plot debate we can get into. I have my opinions. I'll see what yours are too. But anything else for thought provoking? It was spectacular to you. Was it mainly that core theme that was just interesting to think about?
What's the difference between love, obsession, ownership, free will, all that stuff? So it's handled really well, and it's just it's a sign that, hey, get out of your own head. Don't be so selfish. Only be with people that want to be with you.
Yeah, it did that's the question it had me asking afterwards, beyond the movie's point, was what in society do we consider that is actually love? Because we look down upon things such as like, you automatically look at the 90-year-old dude on his deathbed and the 23-year-old woman. And you go like, really? Like, I'm not in that situation where I'm saying there is society will look at that and deeming like, oh, we all know what it's there for. That's not, they don't love each other and whatnot. And so it had me asking the questions of like this love connection that you feel, it's a mixture of things, looks, personality, care, qualities, values, all that kind of stuff that you just feel it. It's hard to explain, obviously. But this is getting to that extreme point that is from this guy's point of view, what are you willing to do and be okay with getting rid of the woman's autonomy just to have the benefits of a relationship? I've been hearing talks about this, like the male loneliness epidemic, which not us. Look at us together. Yeah. I'm not lonely when I got you, but that's a central point of it as well. So great themes overall.
Yeah, and I think this is honestly, kind of at least how I view the male loneliness epidemic itself is like there's a sympathetic nugget there of you can very much sympathize with someone who's lonely. A lot of these characters in the story, especially when it starts off, really lonely characters. That's sad, and you can sympathize with that. It's the sympathy starts going away when you see their actions, and like depending on how they react to loneliness is where sympathy starts to slip away.
We gotta go characters. That's what makes him a fantastic villain here. Yeah. Okay, let's go characters. What'd you give out of 5 stars?
4.25, really great.
I gave 4.5 stars, spectacular. Yeah, and that's mainly because of the acting aside. Nikki. Well, Nikki she's more acting performance. Yeah, great character, but Bear as a character is from his arc, you could say, of just start to end. Such an incredible going from, hey, I'm sympathetic, feeling bad because like every guy's, it's hard to ask the girl out. I get it, and he's timid. You're rooting for him to overcome, but slowly becomes a villain until it's very clear that he's pathetic and that somebody that you could sympathize for is at fault for their own problems. And it was that transition over time of seeing from, the nice guy, that mentality. You can even put yourselves in his shoes at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
But then beyond that,
I think most guys in general have had like at least a moment or a period in when they're very young of that kind of nice guy period of like, oh, I'm nice. What am I trying to do? And then ultimately you're just too inside your own head
Yeah.
and afraid of rejection, all that kind of stuff. Like you can sympathize with that. It's just you normally need to grow up and
yeah, definitely. And so the several character moments for him of walking away while she's saying to kill her, or like on the phone, and what he asked for, as you put, is he didn't ask to snap her out of it. He asked, just
can I tweak it?
Can I tweak the wish? All of that leading to showing so much of Bear's personality, his character was, and then. Interesting thing so Ian and Sarah, they were side characters, not much from them. They were just there as vehicles.
I think Ian is interesting of like, he's not a villain. He's just kind of he's a real dick of he's been sleeping with Nikki and then he's trying to coach his friend on how to ask her out.
Don't do it on trivia nights.
Don't do it on trivia nights. But knowing it's not going to go well. And you're just like,
what a dick, yeah.
It doesn't seem like he particularly cares much about Nikki either. Knows she's going through something. Like he's a real dick too. Not as bad as Bear, but still.
But then I like how both Ian and Sarah were viewed, the view of Nikki and Bear's relationship, where Ian is looking at this and going, there's no way that she likes him. Like, what happened? What changed? Whatever's happening, I know Bear's taking advantage of the situation. He views it as Bear's taking advantage of like a weak Nikki at the moment because he doesn't know the whole magic stuff that's going on. And Sarah views it as as Nikki taking advantage of him because Sarah's going, hey, I know she said before that she didn't like you, and I really am interested in you and like you. And so each of them are viewing somebody else at fault in the relationship, which is also
which is interesting is now legitimately Nikki's agency has been taken away from her. That is legitimate. Yes. So Ian is objectively correct that Bear is taking advantage of her. However, take this from Ian's point of view.
Oh yeah.
Of like, take the move, like just focus on what Ian is seeing, and from his standpoint, is he taking away, in his own mind, is he taking away Nikki's agency? From his point of view, hey, there's no way she would like you. You have to be taking advantage of her because there's no way that she would ever like you and go out with you. That like, oh, you must be manipulating her in some way. It's like, in some way, I think that's almost like mentally like taking away someone's agency. Like there's no way you could consciously make that decision. In the same way that Sarah does the same thing to Bear of, oh, there's no way that you actively made this decision. And like, oh, you're being manipulated. And now in the movie, she literally is. But I thought that was interesting that both characters kind of took away, like, whichever character they like more, they believe that they couldn't actually be at fault. They couldn't be responsible for their own decision.
They had this cognitive dissonance when it came to it, or they followed the trail of their confirmation bias, better word probably for it. But they already decided whose side they were on, and then made the puzzle pieces fit afterwards, which was good character moments for each of them to see through that. That was solid. Nikki, I loved her personality at the beginning too. We see that she is this, the one interesting part. Now here's a question for you of was Nikki interested in, was she interested in Bear? What do you think? Do you think she ever had feelings for him?
Maybe at one point. I think it's certainly possible, but probably the ship sailed a while ago and she just like, he's not going to do it. He's not going to make a move, and she's moved on. I see evidence on both sides of it. I think for the most part, she's probably not interested. You see the fact that during the bar scene, she doesn't let Bear pick up the tab. She's, hey, I'm paying this one. I believe, and that we had this conversation of like, what did she actually say in the car? That she said, I thought I heard her say, when I'm interested in the guy, they know it. Like, I'm not I'm not subtle.
No,
I'm not.
I think what the movie said was, when I'm interested in a guy, they don't know it.
I heard the opposite.
I heard the opposite of you. So
let us know down below in the comments who was right.
Because I think that's what added to it was Nikki said, hey, when I'm interested in a guy, they don't know that I'm interested in them, which again makes our main character it makes Bear more unknowing of, wait, does she like me or not? I can't tell. And that's what makes him thinking about still asking. Because if he got the answer that it was a no before he asked, then it kind of goes away of like, oh, it was a no. There's no potential of this ever work. I heard it that way, but we'll see. People will let us know.
Yeah, the context of the scene is basically she calls him a closed book, or he calls himself that. It's like, yeah, you're somewhat of, you called, he tells her, oh yeah, you said I was somewhat of a closed book, and that, I don't open up as much. And she's like, yeah, I'm the opposite. I'm a really open book. If I like a guy, like,
I didn't hear that at all. I heard literally the opposite of you.
Okay.
There's no way.
That changes things on the theories, but
it does
fine.
change things, yeah.
But no, you add those together. She does seem to really care about him. There's been moments that she's been really there for him. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible that she could have, if he just asked, maybe she would have said yes to a first date. She gave him that opportunity, like, hey, do you like me? This is your time.
This is your opportunity.
This is your like. And she's a little forceful, like, hey, let's not beat around the bush. Like, this is your moment. Come on.
And we have Sarah who says, hey, Nikki told me that she sees you as a brother or friend or whatnot.
But
however,
also, Sarah likes Bear. She could be lying.
Yeah.
Just in the exact same way that Ian could be lying and kind of manipulating Bear, because he's somewhat interested in Nikki.
He's been sleeping with her.
Yeah.
And he likes the friends with benefits portion he's getting out of this. So everybody has their own motivation. So for me, the core goes back to Bear being this, like, the arc of sympathy to hatred by the end, of just seeing his decline. And then a final moment here, which is just so consistent with his character, of he can't even kill himself.
Yeah.
He's too much of a coward to end his own life. And because this would free Nikki as well as a part of it. Like him, it's one of those situations where, hey, don't kill yourself, PSA. But it's one of those situations where him doing that actually frees the person he put in eternal torture, right?
Yeah.
Like, so if there's ever a situation to do so, this would be not. It's not a noble act because of what he's already done, but if there was any sort of redemption to him, I guess that could be the moment, maybe, for him to kill himself and then free her in some way. But he can't even do that. Then when he's going to swallow the pills and he wants to throw up, he still doesn't want to die. He wants to live too much. He's selfish in that way too. And then Freaky Nikki breaks it and says, "Can you be obsessed with me?" And which we can get into for the ending. But to me, that's why it was awesome characters.
Yeah. Let's get into the plot.
Let's do it. What'd you give it out of 5?
I gave the plot a 4.5. Spectacular.
I have a 4.25. Really great.
Yeah,
really great plot.
God. I thought every scene was really tense. It was cut together really well. I mean, if I were to be pedantic, I think the scenes between the wish and ultimately the party, maybe that went on a little long. I don't think by much, but yeah, that would be my only slight ever critique, that maybe that went on a little long, but everything else was put together really well. Things teased in the beginning, at full payoff in the end. Yeah, fantastic.
It starts with such a simple premise of, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Type of thing of, we've seen this before, but then the direction it takes is, I guess if we were to say the larger overarching plot is between Nikki and him, of the how interested, or not how interested, the wish itself. That's our whole overarching A plot. There's really no B plot going behind that other than the friends, and the friends' involvement is really our B plot in the background. And that's where we see Ian getting involved and Sarah getting involved. But it's very clear, easy to remember plot. But I like the thing that makes it for me is the ending is it's a brilliant ending done with like a really good setup, I would say. So the ending itself being him being obsessed with her at the very end because Freaky Nicky asks for this, and then him dying from having ingested pills, and Freaky Nicky then this demonic possession, whatever you want to call it, going away, Nicky being back. The horror ending, like what a horror ending to be back in your body, Ian dead over there, Bear dead in front of you, you bloodied, soiled. I mean, we didn't even talk about the one scene where she stands there waiting for him his entire workday
and
pisses herself and is like,
it also shits herself, throws up, like,
everything, and is just standing there waiting for him. Imagine her coming back to that, but like what a horror ending. Then, as you said earlier, the credits are rolling as you hear her crying, and you're going, oh my god. So top tier horror ending. Yeah.
For the plot, I heard from the actress.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need to get the name right. Indy Navarrete. Navarrete. Damn it!
Mm-hmm.
I did not get it right. Indy Navarrete.
Yep.
She was saying in an interview that one cut of the ending was like the original cut of the ending was her actually killing herself.
Really?
Yeah, and that she breaks free and ultimately is horrified and she kills herself.
Mm.
And so kind of at the last minute they decided to change it and just kind of leave it on her crying. So she's still alive. I'm really glad that because I think it's the one silver. It's still tragic, horrible, twisted, messed up. Like her life is not gonna go back to normal after this. But I think it's better that she lives, and like she at least she gets to live after all this.
Yep. Well, I mean, her blood's everywhere. She killed Sarah. She's going to jail forever, most likely.
Yeah, maybe she could blame it on Bear. Like, who knows?
Here's some plot questions and maybe some holes as well. But more, okay, question first is, can Nicky...
Also, she gets...
Yeah.
Also, she knows the wish thing stuff works. She can find someone else to wish it all back.
Yeah, here's the whole part of it is, can Nicky, knowing this, just get one of the wish things and ask somebody to go back 2 weeks with her having this knowledge of, like, if anything could happen, then the wish could technically break the wish thing. Go back, sorry, not 2 weeks. Go back 2 months before this all started, and then go to Bear and say, "Don't use the wish thing" or whatever. Right?
Oh yeah. The same thing of Bear. He strikes out with Ian. Ian doesn't. He makes the wish. I wish I had $1 billion. He still has one more. All you got to do is go to like literally anybody else and so, like, pull out $100 out of your wallet.
To say, hey, wish for this.
I will pay you $100 to say these words. I wish Bear's wish was never made.
Mm-hmm.
Break this stick. Say that, and you get $100.
Mm-hmm.
They break it, and like he could do it, and he goes back to Nick. But again, that's movie magic. I shouldn't. Like, that's not a.
Not overthink
that's
it.
not a knock on the movie at all.
It's just more so that's the smallness of the world thing of just those four existing. Of there's. Bear, there's other solutions Bear could come up with,
but
that would be available. But if
the world is these four characters, then after Ian's out, Nicky's like Sarah's dead. Like there's no other option but Nicky.
Mm-hmm.
If the world is these four characters,
if it's these, but the wish system itself working like that, and it's played a little bit for laughs too. Of one going to the store, the owner of the store is just, or the clerk or whatever, just saying, "Oh yeah, I already used my wish. What's yours?" "Oh, obsession. That's not too bad, right?" He's playing like, "Hey, read the labels. You didn't check the labels. What are you doing? Got to read the labels, right?" And so it's played a little bit for laughs, not to overthink this thing, but because it's a magic system like this, there's a way out of it if you want to talk about it. But that is not. I'm not putting too much of a focus on that, although it's there. Because that's a part of the scout. So one scene where I lost a little bit of immersion. This is one that I think is more due probably because of the budget that's there. Phenomenal acting scene where they're at dinner and Bear goes and takes the call from Ian, finds out that she's lying about her dad having cancer, and goes back to the dinner table and says, "Hey, does your dad really have cancer?" And Indy acts her socks off. You go, no, and freaks out at the dinner table, which I'm there, I'm locked in going, how scary is that? But my eyes were looking at the background actors. I don't know if you noticed them in the scene or were paying too much attention, but the background actors like hardly pay attention to her freaking out. Of like, they kind of look real quick, but then the background actors keep talking like doing background actor stuff.
Oh.
So it was like seeing that, and because I was, as a viewer, going, holy crap, I'm freaking out. Like, wouldn't the people at the diner freak out when you're hearing Indy being livid, screeching, going, no, no, no. But that lost a little bit of immersion for me, where I was just going like, oh, I'm remembering it's a movie, because I'm looking at the background actors aren't responding to the scene that's happening. So, I mean, that's more of just like a general immersion point to make a little bit later. But yeah, anyways, that was a little bit of a thing I noticed.
Same thing with Ian. Ian works at the music shop with Bear. And is Ian at like his parents' place? Is that his parents' house or something?
I don't know.
Because that was a very nice house that party. And I was like,
maybe
like
it was
Bear
like
was explained of like, yeah, I'm in my grandparents' place. Like my grandparents gone. Like I could stay. Like, okay, got it. But Bear, I was going, is this like his parents' place? I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming yes.
Yeah. These are nitpicks, obviously. Yeah.
But okay, anything else with the plot?
No, okay, the ending, brilliant. That was the awesome part. I think I put it at like a 4.25 maybe, because it's a very simple premise done very well.
Yeah.
Very well overall. And I think even the beats we got in between, whether it was the door, tape shut, yada, yada, all that stuff, used good horror elements to keep you engaged as well, and stuff we've already talked about. So, yeah. That's all I got. Anything else for you?
Yeah, let's move on to acting.
5 stars. Floored me.
Yep. 5 stars. Indy Neveretti.
Oh.
Smashed it out of the park. She's amazing. She's on the short list of, she's up there with me with Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. Now
Kate Blanchett for me. Yeah.
Neveretti. Yep. Neveretti's up there with them of like whatever project they'll in, I'm gonna go see it.
The subtlety you're talking about with her frowning being so horrifying.
Oh yeah.
She did a great job at switching between, you see her at the beginning of the movie acting very social and quirky, turning into this horror possessed doll. So, oh my goodness. And I think a couple of things was, even if it was some filmmaking where it was her moving weird and doing things of that nature, the way it's just her stares and her facial expressions, and the very slow change of her facial expressions, where it wasn't just frowning or it wasn't just smiling. It was first it was her eyebrows, then her eyes, then her nose, then her mouth, as you could just see it sinking. The facial expression is sinking, and that's what's just making it creepy and eerie. Like, yeah, people don't do that. Stop it. I mean, she made without her performance, the movie's good. Like that's why I'm giving so much credit.
Completely agree. You're
right.
right.
It's why I'm looking at this for like the rest of the category and stuff. It does an awesome job in so many ways, but if she does not nail that performance, the movie here goes from good to spectacular because of her. So.
Yeah, I would also add on to that the direction of this film is incredibly well done. Especially, we've been seeing a lot of horror movies lately. Apparently,
a
lot of horror movies, and just comparing the just pure direction of how things were shot is incredibly well done. So the direction, along with the actress, pulled it off. Same thing.
How do you think Bear's acting and others?
Bear did a great job as well. Great.
Michael Johnston is his name.
Michael Johnston, I think he did a great performance. Definitely pulled off the like sympathetic to pathetic character direction, and even in his more pathetic moments, I didn't hate him too quickly. Is the right thing. I think that's a credit to his acting. I think it'd be very easy for this character to, like, just on paper, you'd very quickly hate him. But you don't hate him. I pity him. Like, there's that in between of like sympathize, then there's like disgust and pity, then hatred. That's the hard middle one.
Yep.
I'll take a scene here of getting in his perspective, like knowing what his view is and knowing what the actual like objective view is. When Nikki is talking in her sleep, like, please kill me.
Yeah.
That's a very easy scene to just go like immediately like hate Bear. But I can see from Bear's point of view, like he's looking at this scene going, what, like, is it really that bad to be with me? Is it literally torturous to be with me? Am I that disgusting? Like, he's looking at himself and he's thinking, oh, she's screaming, she's being tortured because she's with me. Ultimately, you're wrong, dude. That's not the point. She's literally possessed. And like, she does not have control over her body. It's not about you.
Yeah.
It's about she's possessed. And
But
being
you
tortured.
see why he has that mentality.
You see, that makes me not fully hate him. I am disgusted and I pity him and also hate him a little bit. And then it goes even further and I hate him even more. But that transition is
well done.
Really well done. And that's a good job with his acting.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And especially with his ability to make you, when they were happy together before it got more horrifying and horrifying, when the snap worked.
Mm-hmm.
The coercion part of it, him, you have the montage with him and Nikki having fun and them.
Even then, she is so obsessed with him. Like, there's no pleasure in it for her. Even when they're having sex. Like, you see her face of when he doesn't see her.
Yep.
She's just kind of emotionless. So.
Yeah, but he's acting so happy that you're almost convinced, like, oh, this is, like but then you see Nikki and just sitting there motionless, or just all those, and it all creeps up on you. So yeah, that was all great. But yes, now I want to go into filmmaking. What'd you give that out of 5 stars?
4.5, spectacular.
Likewise, 4.5, spectacular filmmaking. And
God, love the new blood in Hollywood. It's fantastic.
Yes.
These YouTuber movies are apparently just killing it. Markiplier, Curry Barker, and the guy from The Back Rooms.
We're watching that soon.
His name, but
we watched Chris Stuckman's. That was meh.
Directing is better than the writing of that movie,
but not a great movie, but still.
Yeah. Everyone gets a second try. Everyone gets a whoopsie.
They get 2.
Everyone gets a whoopsie.
But filmmaking for this big thing is the lighting, shadowing of everything, having her emerge from the rooms. But also, I like how it cut from very loud noises, cuts quickly to silence. Use that effectively. What did you like? What stuck out to you? Why was this? Why was this more like what Curry Barker touch did it have, and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, I mean, I like it when scenes have like kind of two focuses of the thing that's really scary is the out of focus off shot frame. That was very present.
Like him on the phone.
Also him talking with his friend Ian on the right hand side in focus, and you could just subtly see Nikki has been staring at Bear this entire time and has not looked away from him. And so like stuff like that is really, really well done. Him looking off, and then in the corner, she's just staring at him. All of that's great.
Yes.
Just the direction of this simple horror movies of her in shadow is scary.
Yeah, agreed. And also all the makeup and gore. I mean, especially the final scene where anytime she'd bash her head in, or I'm just thinking of everything. It all looked very real and gory, and well done to the makeup and costume designers.
I was a little grossed out.
Yeah, great stuff there. I think the one filmmaking thing that just hurt with the budget was like that background actor stuff. So there's that one, maybe a second one where it was like I was remembering it was a movie because of stuff like that. Other than that stuff, phenomenally done for me.
Yeah, that's a tiny nitpick ultimately.
Yep. Anything else for you? Final thoughts of Obsession. After talking about it, how do you feel about the movie?
I really liked it. I would highly recommend this movie to horror fans.
Yeah.
I ultimately am not a horror movie guy. I know this. I knew this about myself, and watching this movie, I know it even more of I can acknowledge how great this movie is, but also I'm not in it for the spooks. That is not my genre.
Yeah.
Because it spooked me too much.
And now we're going to watch Backrooms, so
I know.
There's so many horror films coming out.
I know. Well,
it seems like that's the big thing.
That's the ticket to Hollywood. Like
these horror's lower budget. Yeah.
Horror is lower budget, and almost always is like it's one of the most popular genres to make a lot of money. Like you can make a lot of money and have a low budget.
Yep.
That's one. It's why are all these YouTubers making horror movies?
Yeah.
That's the reason.
They pretty much all are too. Horror movies, yeah. We should make a horror movie.
We should make a horror movie.
Ooh. Start with short films.
We'll do it with $20 and a dream.
we do a Rambler rating for a horror movie. Honestly, 1 star.
1 star.
I mean, no effort went into this. Remember this shot? Yeah, that was filmed. That was filmed with a tripod that we got off from the Chinese Alibaba market.
Yeah, that was filmed. This movie was filmed on my e-ink smartphone.
All right. Anything else you got?
Oh no. But what did you have? What are your final thoughts of this movie?
Oh, final thoughts. Awesome movie. I think everything was well done. After talking about it with you as well, I think the movie has legs to it. It's not just a horror movies that can scare you and become a classic like that. Sure, fun, I'm sure, but this is one that is a conversation starter, which is why I think it also took a huge leap and got that second weekend box office so big, because people were watching it. They were horrified, great acting and all that, but then it has something to say.
Oh yeah, I was having a good conversation with my coworker about. She wanted to talk to me about this movie, and she also really enjoyed it as well. And it has some discussion legs to it of like how much, like, of course Bear is a villain. Who else is a villain? And like how badly? Where did you discover that Bear was actually, a piece of shit? What point of the movie did you find that out?
Yep.
That's all very interesting stuff.
Very interesting. And with Curry Barker, he already got a shoe-in deal. Like, I forget how much money, a lot of money already for his next movie, without even knowing the premise of it, just handed to him.
Honestly, not good. He need the pattern is, actually limited budget. Like, you need to have constraints. Like, I don't know if I want Curry Barker to have like $200 million. Like, let's.
Well, here's the thing. His next horror film is going to be titled Anything But Ghosts. And did you hear about this yet?
No, I haven't.
The premise is it follows 2 con artists who pose as paranormal investigators to scam people. However, their staged ghost hunting operation spins dangerously out of control when they stumble upon a real dark entity.
Okay, could be funny.
It could.
I definitely will be funny.
Yeah, we'll be watching it, obviously.
How much money is he
Let me
given?
see. Next movie, how much?
Because honestly, I will judge. I will be.
It looks like preemptively offered $10 million deal by an unnamed studio for his next original film, sight unseen.
That's not.
He also might have signed a contract with A24 to direct Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot, possibly. Whatever it is, Curry Barker, he's, I think, 26 years old, and he's going to be a name for a long time, I'm sure.
Well, also just A24, just killing it.
A24 is the best.
They are the best film studio by far.
They are. Definitely are.
All right. Let us know what you think down below in the comments. What were your thoughts on this movie? Let us know down below. We'll be watching The Backrooms as our next movie, so stay tuned for that one on this channel as well.
Bye,
everyone.
Bye, everybody.